Hey. There have been a lot of talks about people from out of town bringing in money, buying up investment properties, and how that affects our residents here. So, I want to shed some light on that and dive into some data here locally. For years, we have been talking and pushing that Chattanooga is the cheapest metropolitan area in Tennessee. And that is true. Now, Tennessee also does not have a state income tax. So, of course, we're a hub for people from all over to come and live here. But with that does come investments too, right? So, if you live somewhere where cost of living is way higher, and you have to make more money just to live, obviously your savings is going to be a lot more dollar amount than the people who live here, even though the percentage you're saving of your income might be the same as the percentage of people's income saving here. You just can't compare if someone's making 30,000 here and 90 in, say, Seattle or Boston or New York. So we're going to dive into this a little bit. As you guys also know, I know agents all over the United States and even across the world. Recently had a pretty good conversation with one in Australia, trying to convince me to move there. And if I didn't have so many ties, I might, because it's gorgeous. But with that, I also follow a lot of agents as well, especially the ones who are also significantly putting things out on social media to the same extent that I am, or sometimes more. So definitely want to give a shout out today to Glennda Baker, who is in Atlanta, not too far from us, for touching on this subject and triggering me to kind of dig into ours a little bit more as well. So if you haven't seen it, go watch her live that she recently put out on this. But the condensed version is that an article came out and said that $1 billion has been spent in the metro Atlanta area by investors just in Q1 of 2024, only January to March 2024, 1 billion. And then she dug into that further and found that in the metro Atlanta area, investor sales accounted for 60% of the homes that were at or under $500,000. 60%. I want you to hear that, because that is your first-time home buyers. That's a whole lot of other people. It's people downsizing. Those are people who are going to be renting because they can't find a house now. So, of course, we've been having the same struggle in Chattanooga. So I'm like, let me dive in and figure out what it looks like here. So I am a little jealous if it came through the MLS. I've been meaning to get Atlanta. I don't have Atlanta. I believe their system is Stellar, which doesn't mean anything to you guys, but we have Flex. And in my MLS system, we don't put in, like, if it's an occupant or an investor buying the home. So I really can't tell technically if it's an investor sale. But what I did do is figure out how many of them were purchased in cash, because while cash does not always mean an investor, 9 times out of 10, it is going to be an investor. Very few people buy their first house cash. Very, very few. Now, I do have some people in this range who are not first-time home buyers and they've saved up and they're buying cash, but they've sold houses to get that money. Most of the time when you're looking at lower price points, cash is going to be investors, and creative financing can look like cash on a contract. So that's just the best that I could do in a short amount of time. So take that as it's not a complete apples to apples. We're a little bit apples to oranges here, but I also capped ours at 400,000 because we still are not quite up to the crazy prices of Atlanta. Thank God. Let's hope that stays that way. So yeah, For the houses sold Q1 of 2024, let me give you the numbers. I wrote these down. So all of Hamilton County, and we're going to kind of out and in, right? All of Hamilton County, there were 895 sales. Oh, sorry, that's wrong. There were 706 sales up to 400,000, and 192 of them were bought cash. So that's 27%. Not as crazy as 60, but still kind of up there. If you shorten it to the city of Chattanooga, anything that is technically classified as Chattanooga, there were 463, and 141 of them were cash. So that's 30%. It's a little bit more, not a ton more. But then get this. Then I go in, and because I live here, I know the market. I know that one block over from the next can be $100,000 difference. I did cut out the higher priced areas in the Metro Chattanooga area. So for example, Missionary Ridge, Highland Park, because those you're getting into like, they start at 400,000, right? So we want to get those outliers out of there. So if we remove those sections and look at the rest of Chattanooga and where the prices are still lower in comparison, then our percentage jumps to 40%. 40% bought in cash. Now, I don't know if you guys have been looking around or not, but we have more and more investors looking at our area all the time. All the time. I love it. I work with them. It's great. I mean, if they're going to buy it some way, I'd rather them use me. But it is a problem. It is a problem. Thankfully, a lot of my investors, they are local families. They live here, they work here, they're putting money back into the community, and they are providing housing for people who might not qualify for other rentals. So that's still a great service. But if you are looking at being a first-time home buyer, I know it's expensive. I know it's scary. Do not listen. Do not buy outside of your budget. You will regret it. But if you are in a position where you can purchase or you'll be able to soon, please, please, please do it, because investors are here. They're buying it up, and the amount that they're buying is increasing. So just to figure out, if it's changed a lot or not, I did some other digging. Back in 2020, it was only 22%. And 2020 was still, I thought, pretty investor heavy, but it was 22%, not 40. So in 4 years, the percentage almost doubled. So what are you going to do in 10 years when you're still renting? You're going to be a renter forever. And it sucks. And a lot of people are saying, we need to do something about this. I'm not one to sit around and wait for a solution to come up. I'm figuring out how I need to work in what is presented. So if you are looking at purchasing and thinking, maybe now, maybe next year, maybe 2 years, call me. We need to get you in something. Also, if we can find something off market, that's how investors are buying as well. So really this number is skewed because this is on market properties. 40% of on market properties. Most investors are buying off market because they want to get to it and get a deal before it's there and bid it up. So don't postpone buying a house if you can buy one. But also just be aware that this is happening. It's happening here. It's not going to get better anytime soon. And I'll continue to watch it. If you guys have questions, let me know. Be thankful we're still better than Atlanta so far. And Glennda, again, thank you for for the information. It also sprouted from an article. I haven't read the article, honestly, because I'm more focused on Chattanooga and the parts of Georgia that are hugging us. And I don't go all the way to Atlanta. I would refer those. I do go close. But Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, I have been looking at these numbers a lot. It's starting to spread too. It's not just in Metro Chattanooga. Investors are realizing people will still buy here and drive 30 minutes, an hour into town for work. So they're buying those as investment properties too. So I always want to give some sort of solution. Right now, it's just information. So take it, run with it. Let me know if you need anything. Excited to talk to you guys on a Thursday. Maybe I'll do this more. Don't forget to be back next Wednesday, and I'll see you soon. Bye.